What'd you go for your look today?
Flowy.
I went for the like assassin, except it's not all the way up because I still need to be able to make expressions. We've encountered in this section what is a lot of people's favorite character.
Let me tell you, real quick for everybody, I was rereading Volume 2 because we were originally supposed to do this one in July, but CB got concussed, so which not conducive for discussions or anything. So I remembered like the plot and the backstory flashbacks, but I did not recall the order everything was told in. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, I should almost be at the end of the book. And then I'm like, look, and I'm like, why are there so many pages left? And then he sent back to and I'm like, oh yeah.
There are so many flashbacks.
This book is like night, and I remember I made this joke to you in DMs. I was like, this book is like 80% backstory.
Oh yeah, this book is totally like, hey, it's the middle of, or like we got you guys all interested in Wei Wuxian and Nanzhan in the first book with like a little sprinkling of backstory. But it was about them. Now this book you get to find out about the world. And then that will like make the next 3 books make sense. But you don't get that amount of plot for what like Wei Wuxian is.
No, it's like barely any plot.
It's like here's what other people are up to, and it's like,
you know what? I am okay with that.
Yeah, it's super interesting. I every time I read it or watch it, I'm like, this is the.
Oh, I need to go.
I mean, some great storytelling, but also top 3 most depressing story things in this series. And I can't even say what the other 2 are. Storm, because spoilers for you. But I'm like, no, it made me cry, even though I've read it and watched it so many times. But I'm like, I'm always fine until we get to Ah-Ching again, the girl. And I'm like, because I love her so much, because she's such an icon, and then it's just so sad, and she doesn't know any better to like help. It's so many of those things where I think in the text, Wei Wuxian is even thinking like, if only she had like mentioned his finger, or like so many little things where it's like it almost didn't end up.
You know, it's gonna end in tragedy regardless.
Yeah. But and like so many things could have gone differently and better, but they didn't, and this was the worst outcome. And it happened. So every time I read it, I'm like, fuck, I love this book. I love this book so much. Like this series, it hurts to read. Just the entire series sucks emotionally, because I knew there was the like tying the wrists together in this book, and I'm like, that was making me giggle. But I'm like, my tears are still wet from like a couple seconds ago. Like,
okay. So, well, why don't we go ahead, because especially since it's been a bit, introduce people to what this is.
Hello, I'm CB Ferrenz. This is Samantha L Nasset. And this is our book talk where we talk about books. One of us chooses a book that we love or really like, that the other one has not read, and we make our best friend read it, and then we can talk about it. This month is Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, Volume 2, which is my pick. Previously, we did Scumville and Self-Saving System by the same author. You can go and watch all of those if you're interested. And we also did Volume 1. And so now we are doing Volume 2. Do you want me to give the summary?
Yes.
Cool. Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation is a book following Wei Wuxian, who was renowned and feared for being the Yiling Patriarch, for inventing demonic cultivation, which is a type of magic in this setting that uses resentful energy instead of spiritual energy. Resentful energy comes from the dead and like bad emotions, and spiritual energy are like cultivated within people. And yeah, I mean, resentful energy is also from people. Anyways, I stand with my canceled husband on they should use both. But the first book, I'm not going to explain totally, very Spark Notes version. Wei Wuxian wakes up 13 years after he died in the body of a different person. And there's this, and he was brought back to life to get revenge. There's this pieces of a corpse that has been dismembered, and him and Lanjan, they go around and they're trying to investigate the mystery of this corpse. Lanjanji and Wei Wuxian knew each other back when they were 15, and before Wei Wuxian became the Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, and before he died. It's kind of a mystery for the reader what exactly went wrong in the relationship or in the world, and how he went from like a young master to hated by everyone. The first book, Lan Wangji clocks that Wei Wuxian is Wei Wuxian, but it's not revealed to the audience why. And then this book picks up when they're on the hunt for more pieces from this dismembered corpse, and they come across a city called Yi City. And we should probably put up the spoiler caption or ticker.
I got it.
I can't find it. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. So they come across Yi City, where they run into a group of junior disciples. There it is. From a bunch of teenagers. We've previously met one, which is Wei Wuxian's nephew, his adopted sister's son. You don't get a face. And they are attacked by someone. This whole city is dead. And they end up discovering the story of Zhu Yang and Zhao Zhishen. Also, disclaimer: if we say stuff, pronounce things wrong, just let us know.
We try.
We are trying our best. And they discover this horrible story that happened like a couple years ago. That there's this absolute bastard called Zhu Yang who it's this whole thing. But anyways, Zhu Yang tricked Zhao Zhishen into taking care of him, even though Zhu Yang had like murdered a bunch of people and like plucked out Zhao Zhisheng's best friend's eyes. And then Zhao Zhisheng gave his eyes to his best friend, so now he's blind. So he couldn't tell that Zhu Yang is the person he's nursing back to health. This is all told because Qing, who's a young teenager who has naturally white eyes, so it looks like she's blind, is through her perspective once she's already dead, and Wei Wuxian is like being possessed by her spirit to learn this all. Zhu Yang was a dick, but he ended up like Uno reversing himself and have emotions once for Zhao Zhicheng. He also tricked Zhao Zhicheng into killing a bunch of innocent people and then killing his best friend, the one he gave his eyes to, because he's blind and his sword can like detect the corpse energy. And Zhu Yang was just infecting living people with it and cutting out their tongues so they couldn't be like, "Don't kill me, I'm alive." And Zhao Zhicheng was killing them. Once he discovers this, he himself and then Zhu Yang is like, I'm gonna bring you back, but his soul was so tormented it didn't work. Yeah, so Lan Wangji ends up killing him, and the dead friend takes the spirits of the super damaged spirits of our tragic guy, and then the Ching, the girl who was blind, wasn't actually blind, and then was blind because she got blinded, and goes to. I'm doing this way too much in detail because there's so much.
I'm listening. I'm also
they
like
wander off into the sunset never to be seen again. Wei Wuxian and Lan Wangji figure out the identity of the fierce corpse that's been dismembered as Ni Mingju, who is one of the old sect leaders. Not old, he was young, but one of the sect leaders of the
previous sect leaders.
And he's sexy. I mean, what? No, he's one of my favorite characters.
They're all. I think only one of them isn't described as like sexy, and that's the old guy who used to punish Wei Wuxian all the time.
Oh, the teacher? Lan Wangji's uncle? I think he is described as handsome, but his personality ruins it. Like, I think they're all just hot.
Yeah, no, they're all handsome and beautiful. I'm just saying he's the only one whose like sexiness is not emphasized at any point.
Not repeatedly.
Like, oh, he's handsome and beautiful, but also he has the personality of like this crotchety old man, so we can't stand him. I'm like, I love him though. I love the crotchety old man.
I think he's such a interesting character. And I like when he's on Storm.
Real quick though, do remind me, because like I said, I had drifted off.
Okay.
Weird dream. Like in my dream, I was still listening to the audio book, but it was not the same audio. It was wild. So does my funeral boy come in and save them from sect uncle?
From who? Oh, save the guy that got blinded?
No, save Wu Wuxian.
From?
The 9-finger guy.
Oh, yeah. Technically, Wei Wuxian saves Lan Wangji.
It was like weirdly, like you were going into such detail about like, you know, the girl and everything, and then you're like, oh, I'm doing this in too much detail, and then you glazed over the part I fell asleep at. So I was like, hold on. So I do need that one in my, because that's the only part of the book I don't remember.
Wei Wuxian gets all these memories, runs outside, basically starts verbally harassing or frees the friend who got the eyes donated from the pins in his head that control him. And then starts verbally harassing Zhu Yang so much he like kind of messes up, and then Lan Wangji cuts off his arm and he's like dying, and then his body gets like transported out of there by a mysterious person. Yeah, and then so they discover it's Ning Mingju, which is really sad for Lan Wangji's older brother because he's sworn brothers with Ning Mingju, and also Meng Yao or Jinggang Yao, who is the current chief cultivator, who Wei Wuxian and Lan Wangji are like, that's the bad guy. And Zhu Wuxian, so Lan Wangji's older brother, is like, no, he's my friend.
He can't be the bad guy. My other broski died.
Yeah. I have two friends. One of them is dead, and I'm telling you the other one is the bad guy.
I'm not okay with that.
And then we go there, Wei Wuxian investigates, and this is the part I skim, so my memory here, but when Wei Shen is investigating, we get Ning Mingju's memories of Meng Yao, and he's the bad guy. So we get
the
the
bad
soul
guy who
memories
did a really good job of making himself look like the good guy.
Yes, everyone thinks he's so nice and everything, and then also I think this was said in this book, but his wife is also. Do you remember? I don't think this is a spoiler. I need you to finish the sentence because I don't remember if it was.
Well,
his wife.
His wife just figured out that like he had their son killed.
Okay, so no.
And then she was paralyzed, and then I think he was going to kill her.
So, sorry, I need to bring out the book.
Yeah, see where it ends.
Yeah, I need to see where it ends because I thought I knew where it ended, but that's way past what you seem to remember.
Well, like they came in, from what I remember of the last scene, because I didn't get to this in my reread, but if I remember correctly, they go in. I think he's like blackmailing his wife now is the implication, because they go in and all the evidence has been like hidden, or he like explains away why he has some of the stuff, so nobody thinks he's guilty.
Mm-hmm. And then Wei Wuxian opens up his own sword.
Yes, and like he reveals.
And everyone's like, "Oh, you're Wei Wuxian." He's like, "Ah, shit." Okay.
Yeah.
So
I think that's where it ends, with the cliffhanger of everybody knows he's the Ying patriarch, and he and Funeral Boy are on the run now.
But he's also, oh my god, I'm so bad at skimming because I totally.
As far as I remember, there's nothing sketchy about the wife except she might be mind controlled now. But it's implied that she's like mind controlled or blackmailed or something. But I don't think they actually said what's going on.
Okay, they do, because she kills herself afterwards.
Oh, right. Okay.
They're siblings. She's another bastard of Meng Yao's dad. And he knew.
So she's so she married her brother?
She married her half brother. He knew, she didn't. She got informed by an anonymous person. She's like, "Oh my god, did you kill our son?" He goes, "No, I didn't kill our son, but you would have to have died anyways, because come on, he would have been our son."
And she's
like, "What?" And then so they reveal that they try and, prove it. No one believes them. It's revealed that he's the Yiling patriarch. They're like, "Wait, he wasn't possessed." And then they're like, "It's probably something else." But it's still him. It's definitely him. And then our baby boy, Jinling, stabs Wei Wuxian.
Yeah.
Wei Wuxian is injured. Lan Wangji goes scoop, and they presumably leave.
Yeah.
And Wei Wuxian's like, "Wow, yeah, when everyone else hates me, I always have Lan Wangji.
I always have Funeral Boy, and I'm really trying not to look into the headband thing."
When you texted me and referred to him as Funeral Boy again, I was like, because we did all of the stuff with Zhao Jingchen, who literally lives in a funeral home, and I'm like, who also wears white robes, and I'm like, wait, who's Funeral Boy to Sam? And I was like, oh wait, no, our man who mourned for either 13 or 16 years, depending on the adaptation.
He's introduced to me as a man who is dressed as if he has attended a funeral, and his demeanor is as if he is attending a funeral. I'm like, he is funeral boy now.
Yes, my depression man.
He seems to be doing fine now.
Right now. He's like, my husband has returned. Everything's right with the world.
I love the detail that one of the many details that hints for his love was around before Wei Wuxian died. He's like, oh yeah, no, he loves spicy food. And everyone's like, he doesn't eat. No, he's a fucking spicy wimp. What the fuck you talking about? He's a wussy. And he's all like, but when we went out to eat, he ordered all of those Szechuan dishes, which I'm like, bro, Szechuan dishes are like the spicy of spicy of Asia. And then he was like, but did he actually eat any of them? And I'm like, he ordered them for you, because you a spicy boy.
He's a spicy boy and you starving. I thought, like, little moments of characterization for Lamanji that, like, I see in fandom sometimes, or just, like, an easy interpretation of his character, or, like, a surface with, like, he's just, like, stoic and just kind of, like, not like he's so prim and proper and controlling everything. But I love that this book literally opens up with Wei Wuxian going to chat with people, and he's sitting there playing with a rock on like the road. He's like kicking a rock, and I'm like, you just kicked a rock for a paragraph, like. And this
like, I ain't got nothing else to do.
Yeah, and then I like the like little. Like Wei Wuxian when he was 15, like in volume 1, we get that he's known as a flirt and everything. And then I love that it's like Wei Wuxian explains, not explaining away the flirting, but explaining away him giving a gift. He's like, oh, like I usually give gifts of like jewelry or flowers or something, because you have to give gifts when you get information. And just the fact that like that recontextualizes every time he's given a gift to someone in the past. He might just be being nice, but he's not like a giant flirt. He's like, no, they did something nice for me, giving me information. I did something nice for them. I gave them a gift. And I just think that's beautiful for him. So yeah, that's my summary plus a little more. Overall, what did you think of this book?
I enjoyed it. I don't mind it being 80% flashback. Whenever I flash forward, I'm like, oh yes, plot, timeline, moving forward, and then it does not last as long as the flashback. I'm like, that's fine. But also, don't get me invested in these motherfuckers I know are about to die. Like, that's rude. There's also a skill to that, because it's like going in, you know that they're gonna die, you know that they're gonna meet a tragic end, and yet it's still written in such a way that that I still get pulled and I still care. Like, I'm with Wei Wuxian. I'm all like, yes, please let her not die a horrific death, even though I know, because her ghost has no tongue and is bleeding from the eyes, that this is going to end horribly. And I'm also like, no, I want the nine finger motherfucker to have his redemption arc. But I know it's not going to happen, because I know what he does to the little girl. So I'm like,
So you wanted a redemption arc from Zhu Yang?
I saw no reason for him not to get one before, he did the thing.
Yeah, he did murder a lot of innocent people.
Everybody murders a lot of innocent people in this book. I don't know.
I don't think they do. I think a lot of people are accused of murdering a bunch of innocent people. No.
Okay, I think Wei Wuxian so far has been the only one accused and who actually did not murder a lot of innocent people. Everybody
didn't murder a bunch of innocent people and he was accused of it.
I guess that's fair. Either way, look, in stories like this, body count doesn't matter to me, because like, it's not held seriously. The only time murder death and body count matter is when they're trying to convey to me how terrible somebody is. But like other than that, nobody is held responsible for any of these things.
I
They're like I said, I wanted a redemption arc for him, and then he continued to do atrocious things, and I'm like, bruh, I'm sorry, we cannot.
I think a redemption arc would be interesting, and there's plenty of fan fiction out there if you want that, because people love him. I don't like. I kind of want to because that's a whole aspect of fandom.
Oh, I will also say it was
Go ahead.
during. Sorry, it's also the murdering of people was during war.
No, his was after war.
Oh, his was after.
Yeah.
Look, I can have a problematic boy. It's fine.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. That like most of the fandom 100% agree with you, and I just can't get there. I can't.
Like I said, he killed my desire for him to have a redemption arc, much like he killed a city of people.
Yes.
On page. I hold characters accountable for their on-page actions because a lot of authors have characters do like horrible things in their past, but then like that doesn't match up with who they are now, and I'm like, the gravitas is not there for me. Mm-hmm. But with him, because he does things on page, and I could have hoped that he wasn't the one who killed the little girl and it was actually somebody else, but no.
Yeah, I think in the beginning of the flashback where it's like, oh, it's a candy thing, and you're learning about his tragic backstory to him. And I think there is that question there, like, oh, is something going to be explained where everything went wrong? And it's like, no, actually, this whole time
and never turned back. That's what went wrong.
Yeah, what wrong is he got found out, and it just he's so bad. like the fact that the blinded guy soul was shattered by.
Oh my god, this poor man.
Like
they're like, his soul was shattered so bad it cannot be pieced back together, and I'm like,
yeah,
I understand why though. It makes so much sense. This is that poor motherfucker.
Like he went from my best friend probably hates me now because he yelled at me because all his family was murdered because I tried to be righteous. But I gave him my eyes, so I'm blind now and alone. But you know what? I go around, I help people. I have a young like I have a kid now basically. I have this friend who's kind of a dick, but you know, he also lets me help people. And you know what? I make this kid feel less alone that we're both blind. And then it was like, hey, actually, your worst enemy, the person who took everything from you, is your friend.
He still would have been fine with that, if not for the fact he had continued to do terrible things. And that he had manipulated him into killing so many innocent people.
And also, I've been lying to you this whole time. I'm not blind. Please trust me. And then the fact that he did trust her still enough, like about Zuyang being evil, and then just.
Well, honestly, her lying to him about being blind isn't like.
Yeah, no, but he was like, what?
Ever. Like in the book series.
Yeah, definitely the most least
tame of all betrayals. We're not really blind. Oh,
what? That's just like, and we've been hanging out for years. Also, it was like months, but then it was also like years. It's been years that they've been the three of them, and I'm like, that is.
Everything would have been fine if he wasn't still killing people.
Yeah.
That motherfucker.
And Songlan shows up and he's like, you're killing people, and then he gets fucking killed. Yeah. I know that's
That was
like
such a weird confrontation too, because it's like at that point, just basically he's like, "Excuse you, you're about to ruin my marital bliss, and I can't have that."
Literally, also, the song was like, "No, I'm just gonna like stab him in the arm, just because I want answers, rather than not eliminating the threat." Like, you fucking idiot. That's another one of the things. That whole arc is just, if things went slightly differently, but it became the worst ending. But yeah. So there's a lot of shipping discourse among the three of them. Do you casually or be like, oh, this would be a good pairing between Zhu Yang, Zhao Xingchen, and Sung Lan?
Oh wait, I'm not allowed to see the comments because of accident.
No, you're not.
Okay. So between the three of them, first, let me tell you, you may have caught on, I have a pretty bad migraine, so no one is getting proper names. Nobody. Okay. Except Wei Wuxian. He's the only one.
That's fair.
That tells you how much I love that boy.
For so long, Wei Wuxian is the only person I like slightly could pronounce the name at all.
Because also, I don't know if you could tell, but my read aloud from playbooks pronounces the names correctly, so far as I know. So that's good. Yeah. But except like, okay, I also A-Ching but that's because my thing always goes A minus Ching because of the dash. So
the little girl. Okay, I'm like, wait,
girl, yeah, A minus Ching. So that's how I remember her name.
Okay.
Okay, so as far as the casual shipping goes, I don't think Eyeball Boy and Tragic Sad Boy. Eyeball Boy is the guy who got the eyeballs.
Okay. And then we've
got Tragic Sad Boy.
In my head, he's the soldier.
I don't think they're a good ship.
His name's like S-O, and then he's like, I'm a man.
So?
That's the vibe he gives.
Wait, which one's So? Tragic Eyeballs or Tragic Sad Boy?
Tragic Eyeballs.
Okay, we can call him So.
Song Lan. I keep trying to call him San Lang because that's Heaven's Special Blessing, and I'm like, that's wrong.
He's Eyeball Boy today. So Eyeball Boy, I don't think Eyeball Boy and Sad Tragic Boy are a good pairing.
You don't?
Their bromance is too strong for me. I want to keep them brothers in arms, the tragic brothers in arms who.
Yeah, I kind of the same. We don't get to know them, like their relationship with each other at all. Just that you were someone close to me, and I know.
Yeah, and just their interactions and everything feels far more like that's his best friend in the world. Just far more platonic, in a BL series. So, I think Murder Man and Tragic Eyeball Boy make for a great toxic pairing.
Murder Man.
This is not with like they make such a great toxic enemies to lovers ship, especially because it would be a villain ship or a villain romance.
Yeah,
because our murder boy is unapologetically a villain. He's not morally good. There's absolutely no justification with. Excuse me,
I'll bring that up in a second.
There is no justification for what he does, but but I do. They did when I said marital bliss. I do mean it. They were like a married couple who, for all intents and purposes, were happy. Minus the murder of the innocents behind Tragic Sad Boy's back. And they even had a daughter who had a complicated relationship with stepdad, but that's okay because that happens sometimes.
I feel like if Song Lang showed up and was like, hey, the man you've been with is the person who killed my family and took my eyes, and then you gave me your eyes. But Zhu Yang was like, Yeah, I did that. But I've been good for years.
I've been
so, I don't think that would be healthy, but I think Zhao Xingchen would be like, I have to be with him because it keeps him from murdering people. And that's a different type
I am his redemption.
Yeah. And I'm like,
You don't
that's
understand.
so unhealthy, but it's a good story.
It would be, like I said, minus if he just had not been murdering innocent
if he
people.
had not been murdering people.
If without that, they would have been a good
Without
toxic
that.
marriage.
Okay,
But we
Leanne-
do need to acknowledge.
Yeah, Leanne asked, do you think Su Young would have done with Zhao Xingchen if he hadn't killed himself?
Forced him to be his husband.
I think he would like
Genuinely think he would have just continued on because he really liked
like, I don't know, take him to something and be like, you have to be with me and give me candy and love me.
Like, we are not changing this setup, just so you know.
I think he might kill, still killed Ah Ching.
That depends. I think if he could have used Ah Ching to keep Cedric Tradboy with him, she would be fine, and they would grow to have this really twisted relationship. Because she too is morally gray.
Oh yeah, I love her.
Not morally depraved like him, but she's morally gray.
And I think could have been the protagonist of her own book. What do you think? Absolutely. I love her. I
would love a series about her morally gray ass and her problematic parents. Well, sorry,
but also the fact that Zhao Xingchen is so like good and holy, and he's surrounded by people who are like evil and morally gray.
He reminds me of Funeral Boy's older brother, to be honest. They're like cut from the same cloth. They're just wholesome good boys, and all of their best friends are terrible.
They live in. Like, I wouldn't even put Lan Wangji in that category because Lan Wangji will do anything for the people he loves, not being horribly hindered by moral or like, the moral.
At least not anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe when he was younger, but now he's like.
Zhu Yang and Sun Long, he murdered his whole family. No.
No.
Zhu Yang and
they're not even in the running for being a pairing.
They are a pairing though, online.
That is because people really, really love optimum toxicity.
People also do the three of them together quite often. Like, we can't choose.
This is my husband's boyfriend is valid.
Who murdered my whole family.
None of these are healthy.
I think it's sad that Wei Wuxian never got to meet Zhao Xingchen. Like his mom's martial brother. But fun fact, you're getting a phone call, so I won't say my fun fact. But yes, I think that is something sad that happened.
Sorry about that. What were you saying?
And then, fun fact, in the drama, so in the live action, they change up the time. They change a lot. Okay, I can explain some things that they changed because we have stuff. So the Yin Tiger Tally,
this one.
It's called different things in different.
Oh, so the YTC.
Yeah. It's also called the amulet, and it's a whole thing. But it's in the book, it's something Wei Wuxian created. In the show, it was something that's been around for a really fucking long time and was divided into a bunch of parts. And in the past, Wei Wuxian and Lan Zhan went on this quest to find all the parts and stop the bad guys from getting it when they were like 15. That doesn't happen here for some reason. But during that quest in the drama, they run into Song Lang and Zhao Xingchen. And I think they have the Zhu Yang arc when he kills the whole Cheng family. That was all like them running into him after that and capturing him when he did that. So it still happens. It's supposed to all happen after Wei Wuxian dies in the book, but in the show, it's when they're all running around together. And so Wei Wuxian gets to meet Zhao Xingchen, but in this, Zhao Xingchen is younger than Wei Wuxian, I think.
Yeah.
Or at least he didn't descend the mountain before Wei Wuxian died. Hi. Okay. Leanne goes, to be fair, Akching's moral greatness comes from being a street orphan using trickery to survive. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think any character needs their morally greyness justified. I think most people are morally grey by default, unless you're taught otherwise.
In the show, I should probably read this. Yeah, before I click on the show, The Untamed, Wei Wuxian got to meet Zhao Xingchen. I wish they had interacted more. Yeah. Leanne says Wei Wuxian and Zhu Yang are on opposite ends of the chaotic good to chaotic evil spectrum.
I don't know that I would call Wei Wuxian chaotic good. I think he's chaotic neutral.
Yeah. I think he's different at different times in his life. But chaotic good is... he's good, but I don't think on the like D&D chart he would be chaotic good.
No, he'd be chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
Because he does not, his actions, it's not that he would do anything out of goodness. It's he does anything that interests him or anything for himself. But he also still has lines, so I would either call him true neutral or chaotic neutral.
I would say he does do stuff because it's the right thing to do.
Yes, but not like all of his actions are dictated by this would be for the greater good or this would be a good thing to do. It's more like, oh yeah, he'll do anything if he thinks it's the right thing to do, but also he'll do whatever's going to serve him in the moment, whether it's the right thing to do or not, as long as it doesn't go against his own like
morals. Yeah, I
vision of morality. Yeah.
Storm
like him. I feel like just him creating the demonic cultivation is all like that. Just kind of shows that he wouldn't be on the good alignment, because within their world and their moral system, that's objectively not good.
Yeah, but I think that does come with the caveat that their moral system is not...
it's the moral system of the world.
Yes, but the moral system of the world, definitely he wouldn't be considered. Yeah, there's some stuff there I would love to, like, I'm gonna make a note to bring up this discussion again when we finish the series. Okay. Moving on from that, generally, beautifully done flashback there. I think the flashbacks are well done, that we get Wei Wuxian's like input on them without being overwhelmed by like, I'm watching this happen. This is what I think. It's like, it's very nuanced, in my opinion.
It helps that I relate a lot to him. So like his thoughts are really my thoughts. So I'm like, yeah, I feel you, boy.
Right. No, I love Wei Wuxian so much. Yeah, Leanne, I'm not gonna click on that because it would lead to spoilery discussions. Yeah, this is Sam's first time experiencing the story. So, you can still say spoiler stuff in the comments, but Sam can't see the comments right now, and I'll be filtering them for what I put on screen. Yeah. let's see. And then we get back out with one of my favorite scenes, which is the drunk hand tying scene with Wen Ning. Our boy Wen
I want Funeral Boy drunk so much more often because those are some of my favorite scenes. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, I need this. This is where most of the relationship progression happens.
Yeah. Them kissing and then poor Lama G doesn't get to remember it.
Like nothing happened. We didn't do anything.
Yeah.
What do we do? Nothing.
I love the animated version of the hand tying scene always sticks in my mind because it's so well done. Of that scene, because in that when Wei Wuxian, no, when Lan Zhan jumps out and pushes away Wen Ning, he pushes like him like that. And I love in the book, he fully kicks him in the chest. And I'm like, and like implants like a hole in the ground. And I'm like, iconic.
So
like that is
fucking
so
jealous.
And with knowing what was going to happen next in that scene, every line Wei Wuxian said, I was like, oh my god. And what do you think of discovering what the headbands mean?
Kinky without being kinky. Interesting that it's a clan thing. Also interesting that that's how he decided to use his to claim.
I love the knots that he like, okay, this knot. No, I don't like that. He ties like 3 different knots, and then he ties like 7 or 8 more on the wrists.
He's like, he is mine.
And then he's like, you don't want anyone to see, and Lan Zhan parades him in front of all.
I will show everyone. Everyone will know.
Yeah. The junior quartet is finally complete. We've finally met them all. So the junior quartet is Jinling, Lan Shi's Wei. There's a J sound in there. But and then Lan Jingyi, and then I think his personal name has been said, Zhi Chen, but the romantic boy, where he's like, he described Wen Qing as like very like pretty and the one with the romantic attitude. That's the 4th member of our junior quartet. And I love them so much.
I love that Wei Wuxian like goes full on uncle, and he's like, I am worried about Jinling having no friends.
He's worried about Jinling having no friends.
I am so worried about my nephew. Why does he have no friends? Yeah, I had friends.
He's like, oh, this is a terrible situation with like all the ghosts and everything and the dolls. But he's like, I gotta train all of these kids not to be scared and also play a little prank. So each of you come up to the window and look out. Like that is so funny. And him just like treating them like his little ducklings. I love him going into dad mode. Leanne goes, I would love to be in the minds of the juniors when they see their esteemed teacher has his headband tied around Mo Zanyu's hands.
I mean, I love that at that point, like, Wei Wuxian has been like, yeah, no, I am 100% gay and following around Funeral Boy because he's the new love of my life. And they're like, yeah, as if he would ever. And then I just imagine some of them go,
I guess he would. Because also, in that scene, Wei Wuxian is being like, this is how you restrain a fierce corpse. It's not anything weird. Like the Uno reverse so quickly of him being like, and then being like, we're platonic.
He doesn't want to corrupt the children's minds.
Also, he can't process that it's not something platonic. Because he doesn't know what's going on. But like,
yeah, he's working
on it. He doesn't want to imply that
now that he knows.
seriously would be reciprocating that, because I think he's like, oh, my reputation's in tatters. Mo Dao Yu's reputation was never there to begin with. So me making all these all these references towards Lanzhan is fine, but I would never want to. And when I imply opposite, people laugh it off because they don't believe it. But now it's Lanzhan's actions, so I don't want to give meaning to his actions because it might make him look bad. And I'm like, boy, you're trying so hard to preserve his reputation, but he does not care. Which he finally proves when everyone goes, you like patriarch, and he goes, oh, my husband.
He's like, yeah, you dumb motherfuckers.
Yeah.
What took you so long?
Leanne goes, 100 clans. When it comes to being cheeky, nobody can beat me. Great line. Wei Wuxian is so childish, but such a good practical teacher. I think he chooses to be childish a lot of the time as like a mask. Yeah. And he is. He has ADHD, but he has. Yeah, he has being very perceived as like flighty or like hyperactive. But I think he's very aware of everything, or like very aware of how he's being perceived a lot of the time. And if he's doing something where he can be perceived badly, I think that's a personal choice, like a purposeful choice. And I think that stretches back to when he was in the Zhang sect with with being better than Zheng Chen JC and having to like suppress that so Madam Yu wouldn't get pissy. So, and I think he's just a fun guy, but him in teaching mode, or him in like teacher or big brother kind of mode, is so great. I think it's fantastic, and I love that the juniors are like, well, he was with Hong and Jun, so we're gonna trust him, listen to what he says, even the ones that don't know who he is, and then the ones that do know who he is, like Jinling, and then Lan Xi's way, the little Lan, and then Jingyi, which is the loud one. Yeah. So being like, oh, we've been told he's crazy and everything, but also we trust him. Even though Jingling is.
They're like, I guess you can't believe all the
Jingling.
He's pretty dependable to us.
Trusting him. I had seen art of the scene where Wei Wuxian teaches Jinling like the wrist thing. I forgotten that it was an actual scene in the series. And I was like, wow, this is a really cute comic. It was a fan comic, but of an actual scene. I was like, oh, I wish something like this happened. Oh my god, wait. Oops. Yeah.
I think it's an interesting thing. I think Jinling, like even before it's like revealed, I think he does to a level believe that Mo is actually Wei Wuxian. But yeah, but I think that I think that actually helps him like Wei Wuxian, because like he knew Mo personally, and so he like could personally hate him. With Wei Wuxian, all he has are stories and other people's hatred. So even though he knows that Wei Wuxian is responsible for his mother's death and stuff, there's a cognitive dissonance with what he has internalized and what he has experienced. And I think his experience overrides that, which is also why when Angie Big Brother is all like, no, I know you're my fucking little, or Like, no, I know you're my fucking brother. All right, you're scared of dogs. You reacted the same fucking way. We're gonna talk about this. And then he's all like, I gotta save my uncle from my other uncle because I don't think he's wrong, and I don't know what he's gonna do because he's not wrong. And so he's like, but like, I don't know. He's been nothing but nice to me, and like at that point, I think they've bonded in a way that Xingling can't fully emotionally accept, but like definitely feels. And so it's very much, I think, that those two have like bonded in a way.
Yeah, I think that the reality, it's like one thing to be like, oh, I wonder if this guy that ran into, like, maybe he's my uncle, like, are you Wei Ying, I think is what he asks, versus the confirmation, everyone being like, you are Wei Wuxian, the Yiling patriarch, are two different things. Because it's almost like, are you Wei Ying, like, are you my mom's beloved brother, versus are you the person who's responsible for my mom's death?
Yeah, I think that also helps too, because you bring in that he would have had stories about the good and the bad with Wei Wuxian. So
I feel like he would have. I don't think he would. Just from JC's like hatred of.
Well, no, I don't think JC would have shared them, but like there are other people who were sympathetic, or like even if it's in the context of before he was the Yiling patriarchy or patriarchy, sorry, before he was the Yiling patriarch, this is how he was, and this is why his betrayal was so terrible, because he was so beloved and everything.
Because you can't really talk about like JC wouldn't be able to talk about his sister or his childhood without talking about Wei Wuxian.
No, but like I said, their clans are huge, so I'm sure there's at least one sympathetic old geezer who's all like, back when he was a boy, he caused so much trouble.
Yeah. I think yeah, there would definitely be also the fact he was like the head disciple. Like people even within the book are like, oh yeah, he invented the spirit attracting flags, but like, fuck him. We still hate him though. We still hate him.
He invented so many good, useful things.
There's so much nuance, even though Wei Wuxian's perceived childlessness. Yeah. Leanna asks, can I join you in the stream when you discuss volume 3?
No, the book talk is for the on-screen. It's only me and CB, because like it's what's the word? It's catered to around our migraines and our schedules and stuff, and trying to add a third person in would be a little too much, I think. So, but you are always welcome to join us in chat. But we're not ever going to have a third person on.
I wish we got more information on Mo Dao Zu. His sacrifice starts all of this, but we know so little about him. Yeah. I mean, we got a surprising amount of information.
I mean, we know a lot. I feel we know a lot about him. He was obnoxious, and granted, okay, so he's set up to have a terrible backstory, but also if you pay attention to what people say his actual actions were, he was very obnoxious and did not respect others' boundaries and whatnot. Like, he was abused, but he was not a good person.
The
from what I
and stuff are. I like the fact that we're piecing together who this person is. So much of Grandmaster is a mystery, even if the mysteries are like people's characterizations, not just a whodunit, but it's like, yes, the main whodunit is what happened with the body, but a lot of the question is like, what is the Yiling Patriarch? What is the Sunshot campaign? Like, what happened that ended up with all these people in so many different places? And Mo Dao Zu, is a part of that. And there's so many just little lines and throw off things that I feel like as I'm rereading for the third time, fourth time, I'm being like, oh shit, that explains that one thing I didn't catch before, just over and over and over again. And it's delightful. Hats off to MXTX. Baby Ling is a ball of conflicting emotions. Yeah, that guy, he's also like 13 or 14. Like, he is bebe. Like, the other juniors are a little bit older than him. And I think that having a gaggle of teenagers following our two main guys around just makes everything funnier.
Let me tell you, I love that. I love that our main characters are adults, but they have a group of teenagers that they are chaperoning.
And the teenagers act like teenagers. That it's not like, oh, these teenagers out to save the world. Like, no, the teenagers are.
No, I think that's the thing I like the most is that no, our main characters are still our adults are still in charge of saving the world and stuff, and our teenagers are apprentice. They're learning, and that is their job. But they are also
like the reminder to Jinling, like, don't go off just because you're upset. Like, go talk to your uncles. Like, go back, tell people where you are. Like, no.
Don't fucking run away. Oh my god. My brother must be so fucking stressed right now.
Leanne, that is a good comment. I'm not gonna put it up on the screen though. But yeah. I think with and the fact that Jinling is like, my uncle was doing so much when he was my age. Like, even Wei Wuxian fought the Zhanwu of slaughter. And Wei Wuxian is like, it was war. That was bad that we were doing that.
It was war, of course. You're not at war. You don't need to go kill a bunch of people.
And I can't answer that question, but if you want to message me on Discord, I will let you know. Well, I think at least.
You could type it in chat.
Yes, I could.
You're like, I forgot that was an option. So while CB is typing that, my overall favorite character is Wei Wuxian. My favorite teenager is still Jinling at the moment, but we will see if any of the others. Actually, no, it's not Jinling. It's
She's what? Little Lon? The one that's so good behaved.
So it's like the loud one. Like Wei Wuxian's biggest teen supporter, who he's always like, this is our competent teenager.
Oh yeah, so that's Little Lon.
That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure.
Lan Yan, which is, they revealed his like personal name. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I love Jingyi, the loud one, because I think he's so like Wei Wuxian, in so many ways, where it's just like he's so different from a lot of the Lan like principles of refinement. You can see that he's a high storm. He's still such a good disciple. And it's funny that like the rest of the Lans, even Lan Jingchen, which is like Wei Wuxian's older brother, or not Wei Wuxian's older brother, Lan Zhan's older brother, so many names, is like much less like primed up, buttoned up,
prim
than where at least first seems like Lan Zhan is, even though we later, get to know him more. So I just think it's the Lan clan is fun. I love Jinling. I am sad when I think about him and his life. Hashtag orphan. But he has like a million uncles.
He does. So many fucking uncles.
Sam called Zhao Xingchen an uncle, and the way my mind just couldn't wrap around that there was an uncle in this book not worth.
I know. You were like, he's not Xinling's uncle.
I was like, what are you talking about?
I'm like, other people are allowed to have uncles, you know.
Not in this book.
Only Xinling's allowed uncles, no one else.
He has 5 uncles, right? Xinling?
I don't know. I'd have to check my Milanote web that I'm slowly building.
Because JC, wait, no, he has so many more than 5. I forgot about his dad's side. Okay, Wei Wuxian, JC, technically, if someone's a brother of your uncle, are they your uncle as well? Sworn brother.
Oh, yes.
So then also Lan Zhichen, Ming Yao, Ni Mingju, and then Mo Zanyu. And that's 6 uncles, I think. And then other characters.
So we should discuss the other flashback.
Yeah, the other flashback.
Let me tell you, that general, easily one of my favorite side characters. He actually probably is my favorite side character.
Yeah, me too. I recently, when I reread his portion separate from rereading the rest of the book. I don't know, something about it. I read him and I was like, I need more content of him, and there just isn't any. I'm like, but he's such an interesting character. He's so fun. And so like lawful neutral, I think. I don't know. He goes by his own ideals so strictly, and I respect the shit out of that. And the fact that he's like a good guy. Like, he has flaws, obviously. He's also being like mind poisoned by his saber. But yeah.
He is pretty good for a man who's been mind poisoned, though. It just makes him angry. But he doesn't seem to react out of that. Okay, no, he doesn't seem to act out in that anger. Like, even if he reacts or something harshly, he doesn't, like, I don't think any of his actions he would take even without the saber's influence. So he seems to have a pretty strong control over it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Just makes him an angry ball of harsh.
Yeah. And I think it's generally like that anyways. I think it's sad that there's one like fan thing, and then also just something I believe that if Wei Wuxian knew about the sabers and the curse and everything, even at like 15 to 20 or whatever, I think he could have like solved it.
Yeah, he probably could have done something about it
in like a night. Boy's a genius.
Like, I can take care of this. No
he's
problem.
Like, I invented an entirely new cultivation method that is very similar to the type of cultivation method fucking you guys up. Yeah, I can figure something out.
I can fix this. It's fine.
Seriously. And then that just doesn't happen because this world is full of misery. But
I will say I am a little sad that the useless leader was not revealed to be the big bad. But however, the fact that they're like in cahoots or being controlled by the big bad, I still feel validates my theory on a level.
Which, the head shaker?
Yes.
Huasing, Ning Mingju's little brother. The fan guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not going to say anything else other than that.
Look, I just think he's too, what's the word I'm looking for? I still think there's more to him. I think incompetent. I think he's too incompetent to actually have held his position without there being more to it. Like, there's gotta be more to this dumbass. So I'm still thinking there's stuff, but we'll see in the next volume, I suppose.
Yeah.
I will say I did not see the fake ass motherfucker before they got to the thing because I did not care about him. So I did not give him much attention. But then they get to the whole thing and it's like, that's the man that Mo like harassed and confessed. And then there were some scenes I'm like, oh, he's shady. I'm like, never mind, this motherfucker's in on it.
They introduce him. I think they barely introduce him beforehand, and then his first time where we like get to know more about him, they're already suspicious of him. So it's like, yeah, I didn't realize that they realized it was him so early. I forgot. I didn't realize that that's where this book ends. I don't know what I thought in the meantime, but I was like, oh shit, Jingling stabs Wei Wuxian at the end of this one. Okay.
I would be so happy if he is the minion to Headshaker. That would be so great. I have such villainous aspirations for Headshaker.
I love it. There's, even though it's like, hey, this is the guy that, like, this is all what Meng Yao did, but we still haven't solved the mystery. There's still so much fucking shit going on.
Yeah, like there was so much stuff going on in his like family's tomb and stuff. I mean, it's like there's no way he didn't know about any of this. He's got to be involved somehow. So we'll find out.
But yeah.
Also, still need to know how this is all connected to Best Dead Boy. So because that was his clan.
Which Best Dead Boy?
There's only one Best Dead Boy. The Ghost General.
Oh, yes. One name.
Yes, thank you.
I love that we finally got his consciousness coming back and that he is the sweetest boy.
He is. He's so sweet. He's Best Dead Boy. I love
the little bow off that the two of them did, where we should stop it. And I'm like, I love you.
He takes Funeral Boy's jealous abuse so well.
Yeah.
I'm like, stop kicking the puppy.
The puppy is not after your man's
Funeral Boy, I love you, but if you don't leave the puppy alone.
Yeah. Yeah, I am thinking about what's in the upcoming books. And I remember a lot of the previous timeline stuff, like the flashback kind of stuff, but I don't remember as much the present timeline future from this point. I'm like, I actually vaguely know what comes next, but not as much as I feel like I should.
I mean, if the proportion of plot to flashback is even half what it was in this book, I understand why.
I think, yeah, the portion flashbacks this is definitely a dual timeline. This is a dual timeline, right? Even though the secondary timeline is a mess. Or it's just like a flashback heavy. I think
I would not call it a dual timeline because the flashback story are not in a they are not a storyline on their own.
I think from now
they are a group of storylines that are all interconnected, and that's as far as I know, that's not how dual timelines work. Dual timelines are two separate stories being told at the same time, but they take place at different time periods. So I think this is just like
flashbacks.
I mean, dual timeline would be like the closest to something I could think of, but I don't know. I'll try to figure out if there's a term for it.
Book is actually dual timelines. I do think it starts at one point and then goes for a while and then starts doing bum 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 bum. I actually don't know. My brain might just be like sorting it, and I know that
I might just be putting it in chronological order.
And I know that in the animated show, the Donghua, it's a flashback for they give you like 2 episodes that is the Mo Manor stuff, and then they give you 30 episodes of flashback that it's just the entire secondary timeline, except like I don't think the like Ningju like surprise it was Meng Yao. I don't think that's in it, but I think it just follows Wei Wuxian for his entire life up until death for like 30 episodes. Then you bump back to like Wei Wuxian, like they're in the cloud recesses still, and the arm hasn't like freaked out. I think it's that amount of reordering it, because it is a messy timeline, but I think that's part of the fun of it.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I don't mind that there is so much backstory and so little plot progression. I'm okay with that.
Yes.
But
Let's see.
only because I am invested in the backstory. If I was not invested in the backstory, I would be so annoyed. So
Yes.
because I would be like, I don't give a fuck about these characters. Bring me my boys back. But like I said, because I am invested in them.
Because
I have at least one character in each background that I really want to know about. So,
a couple of things I wrote down while I was reading. What's your opinion on the in this, and then way less specifically in writing in general as a writer, on like the onomatopoeia, like for
I love onomatopoeia, like in this and in general. Yeah, in this and in writing in general, I love onomatopoeias. I think that they're a great literary device. It's, I think, just being like writing shink instead of the sound of the sword works so much better in most contexts to me.
Yeah.
I've been not
using them, but
I will say
I like using them.
I will say in this one, it sometimes it takes me a little bit to get used to a certain sound just because they're Chinese onomatopoeia, and so they're not the word sounds I would associate with things like the da da to represent the thump thump.
Yeah, well, it's not exactly a thump thump because it's a hollow bamboo pole, so like across the ground, it would be like ta, but I think it is written da because it's it'll be like a sh kind of noise because it is hollow and has that like fibrous.
Yeah, like I said, it's just one of those things that, like, if I were reading a Western novel, they would use a different onomatopoeia because like even it's really interesting because, like, for in America we say that like cats say meow, but in other languages they actually have different sounds that they use for their cats. So it's but once I'm like, yeah, I associate this with that, then it's fine.
Yeah.
And that's just me adjusting as because I'm reading something outside of my native culture.
Cool. I love the images being within the novels, but it bothers me so much that the images aren't accurate. One of the biggest, like, they're just not the descriptions given sometimes, like generally, but not quite. One of the biggest ones that bothers me is the paper effigies room, where they're in this room, like, little Lan lights a talisman, and then we have this image where it's like horrifying bodies suspended and they're gaunt, and one of them has like 3 faces across the chest, and like their guts are spilling out, but it's actually rope, and they're all hanging above, and everyone's like, ah! But the description is like, no, they're beautifully made paper people that look so lifelike. And the reason it's a surprise, it seems like there's just a bunch of people standing there watching them,
is because of how lifelike they are. Yeah.
And I'm like, I wish, and there's a couple, there's other ones, but that's like the most visually striking that I can explain.
That always bothers me when the descriptions don't match the illustration.
Like, oh, did someone give a description to the artist like, oh, they're surprised by a bunch of like fake bodies, and it's like, oh, bodies, all right, they're rotting, and that's why they're scared and surprised. And it's like, oh, just send them a paragraph where she spends describing it in the book. Like, we don't, there is literally just like 4 lines that just to describe that. And like, obviously it's not the artist's fault or anything like that, but it was just, I always get a little like, oh, come on, like we're so close.
That is definitely a communication issue somewhere. And
Leanne goes, I love the artwork in these books. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Let's see. I have 2 or 3 more. Jingyi shipping it, page 83. Apparently, he ships it in page 83. I think he makes like a reference to like, oh, you should go hang out with. Oh, no. It's when they found the juniors. Lanzan is going to fight someone, the person with the obscured face. And the person with the obscured face was Zhu Yang. So Lanzan is, anyways, he's fighting someone, and Wei Wuxian's like, Hangenjin, you got it. I'm gonna take the kids. And Hangenjin's like, and Jingyi is like, no, shouldn't you be like, no, I can't go without you and leave you.
I love that part.
And
shouldn't you guys be like, oh, I cannot part with you. Let me tell you, I've been listening to a read along, right? Yeah. Because I have EPUBs that I'm listening to through Playbooks, and the read aloud feature. I was driving to the grand opening of our library today, and I had my oldest in the car with me, and I'm like, can I listen to my book with you here? And he's like, yeah. So I put the book on, and that's the part that was playing. And so it's all like, shouldn't you be like, ah? He just looks at me, and I'm like, he has to leave his boyfriend, and the child is upset that they're not more upset that they have to part ways. And he's like, oh, okay. Do it. So I'm going to forever associate that part with my teenager now.
Yeah, because that is such a funny, like, Jingyi, what novels are you reading?
That's our romantic boy, right?
No, Jingyi is the loud lawn. That's
right, okay, yes.
Our romantic boy, I think, speaks for the first time sometime after that.
Yeah, all right. So yeah. our baby
boy would be probably characterization was probably standing there going, very much so. Yes, he should say that.
my baby Wei is the shipper, which makes sense. Baby Wei ships his dad's.
And then the last thing I wrote down was just kind of like a what? World building wise, Zhao Xingchen and then Wei Wuxian's mom, their teacher, Boshan Sanren, which is a title and not a name, but whatever.
Bobo.
They're talking about her disciples and how they're not supposed to leave the mountain. I didn't realize that Wei Wuxian's mom, Chanzi Sanren. Oh, I hate that I can spell these, but Wei Wuxian's mom was the second disciple to leave the mountain, and then it was Zhao Xingchen, and then they mentioned the first one, which I didn't know existed and is never mentioned again, that they left the mountain, something awful happened, and they turned evil, and that was it. And I was like, what?
They watched the Chapter Black tape from you.
What?
They watched the Chapter Black tape.
Yeah, and I'm like, are we not? Like, they experience the world and they turn evil, and I'm just like, and that never comes up again as far as I know. And now I'm like curious, like, am I forgetting a plot point where they discovered something was related to something? Is this person
gonna go back?
The ancestor of one of the sects or something like that? But I'm like kind of worried that they're just, I don't think they're ever gonna bring it up again. But now I'm like, oh, plot. Give me a flashback to that thing. But yeah, that's my
9 fingers dad is what we find out.
I think his tragic backstory, Zhu Yang, is like, oh yeah, that's really terrible that happens. You were kind of gonna be a fucked up guy, even if that didn't happen. Your whole like, yes, but it was one of my fingers, and it's worth more than 100 lives. And it's like, ooh,
You know, he's got self-worth.
mm-hmm.
In my toxic mental fanfic, sad tragic boy knows that it's our toxic bad boy because when he's asleep he touches the finger and he is out to redeem him as his repentance for failing his bestie.
So Wei Wuxian has an evil Dark Lord uncle and it's treated as such a way throat. Yeah, as far as I could tell, I was like, so we're just not gonna. Cultivators live like forever.
He was evil, but he retired and he's in a cottage just growing sweet potatoes just randomly.
That's a different Fix-It fanfic where things Wei Wuxian starts becoming like, oh, the Yiling Gaozu, like, oh no, he's so evil. And then the actual Dark Lord is like, you want to see evil? Fuck with my nephew. I barely knew your mom. She was chill. You're mine now. Or there's a whole tag on AO3. Woo! There's a whole tag on AO3 is Wei Wuxian was raised by others, so not the Zhang sect. And that's a fic that should be on there. We're in the same like
my Dark Lord uncle.
Yeah, the Dark Lord uncle raises
he finds him. Like he finds him, and then as Wei grows older, and he's like, "Hey, I know how to cultivate demonic energy," and he's all like, "I'm so proud of you.
You're learning so well."
My boy
is still like a good person, and but also didn't have the baggage that comes with like, "Hey, this thing that I figured out is evil, and I'm evil," and instead he's like, "Good job," and Ocean's like, "Yeah. I'm gonna go make out with the disciple of that prim and proper sect. Bye. I'm gonna corrupt him."
I met him in the market, and
we were on a night hunt, and I saved his life, and now he keeps following me.
And then how my power works.
He keeps saying I'm going to die because of what I do, but I think he's nice about. I think like he's worried and not like evil.
I think they're very confused, uncle, and his uncle's just like, yeah, they're just like they're living in the dark ages. They don't understand. You're just so advanced. Wait,
yeah, and then it's actually plot twist. It's also a romance between the Dark Lord uncle and then Lan Qiren, which is Lan Zan's uncle, who's like prim and proper. But they're exes. They're evil exes.
Oh no.
And so it's like, hey, I met someone new and just dragged out your ex's nephew and is like, isn't he great?
Yeah.
This is Sam and I's pick. Leanne goes, love that idea, CB. Bring back the evil uncle to defend his demonic cultivator nephew.
He like gets pulled into the parent-teacher conference at one of the sect schools after he like starts sending him, and they're like, "Are you aware that your child is doing demonic cultivation?" And he's like, "Yeah, and
yeah."
Is he hurting anyone?
I'm so proud of him. You should be proud of him too.
I know, he's a fucking genius.
Or have the evil Dark Lord uncle be the ultimate threat that someone new had to bring Wei Wuxian back to life to beat. Someone write that fic.
Wei Wuxian brought back to beat the uncle, but like he doesn't know who the uncle is, and he just meets this like crotchety old man in the woods who's like, "Get out of my garden." Yeah. And he like starts helping, like he accidentally ruined the guy's garden, so he's like trying to help him rebuild it, and they bond that way. And then he's like, "Oh, I was supposed to like defeat you." Yeah. It's like, oh.
Or the Dark Lord uncle finds out like 23 years late that his younger sister, like younger Marshall's sister, had a son and that she's dead. And he's just so used to like living off the grid, and he's like, oh, I should go do something about that.
I should
And
raise my nephew.
Wei Wuxian is fully dead, and he like is starting to get pissed about plot events that lead up to Wei Wuxian dying, and they're like, "Fuck! Someone bring Wei Wuxian back so he doesn't kill all of us for."
Wei comes back, and he's just like, "Why have I been resurrected?" And they're just like, "Here." But they're like talking about how he's like, "Okay, now we gotta go sacrifice him," and he's like, "Whoa, hold on! You can't just bring me back to sacrifice me." What the fuck?
Or even worse, they bring him back to give him to the uncle.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is like they're talking about sacrificing him and stuff, but what they really mean is they're handing him over to the uncle, and he's just like, "You can't just bring me back to sacrifice me." And they're like, "Here's your sister's son," and he's like, "Wait, what?"
But Wei Wuxian would be like, "It makes sense. I deserve to be sacrificed to an evil. At least if I'm brought back, my life will be like meaningful. Maybe this will atone for all of the harm I've done." And then the Dark Lord uncle gets handed like Wei Wuxian, still probably like 20 or whatever.
He's like 20 and in a ball.
And then young. And Wei Wuxian is like fully, maybe he like got beaten up or something by some of the cultivators that brought him back because all of those guys suck. And the Dark Lord uncle is like, "I'm gonna kill them all. I'm gonna kill them all.
He's like, I'm going to kill 100 of them per scratch.
Yeah.
We have to make a point. But some of them have to live to remember the point."
And then he goes to like kill them, but Wei Wuxian's like, "No! Lan Zhan's a good person.
That's my boyfriend.
You don't understand." And they're like, the evil Dark Lord's uncle's like, "Actually, give me Lan Zhan for me to punish, to treat him, your precious person, like you've treated my precious person."
He doesn't even explain it. He's just like, "That boy is the sacrifice. Hand him over."
Yeah, and Luigi's like, "Please take me. Let me be with Wei Wuxian." He's like, "I volunteer."
It's true.
She's like, "Please, I volunteer. Let me live with Wei."
Wei, she's like, "You can't hurt him," and he's like, "He's your servant now."
I wasn't gonna hurt him. You kept crying about him. You kept telling me how pretty he was and how good he was. Oh look, he brought.
How you raise children? I don't know what I'm doing.
The fact that we both said the children at the same time. No. Lan Zhan gets taken or whatever. He volunteers. He goes, and then the juniors mount a plan to rescue him and defeat the evil uncle. And they go, "You're muted. You just muted."
I now imagine the evil uncle to just permanently, like, once they get back to his castle, just be in a bathrobe. Like, not an actual, like, robe or anything. Like, not the
bathrobe.
Just fully a bathrobe and a newspaper, just always now.
And he has this like giant mansion, and it just ends up being like Lan Zhan's and Wei Wuxian's like sect with all of their children. He's like,
the teenagers come to break in, and he's like got like his newspaper, and he goes in the room, and he's just like, "Dad, this is how you get more kids? Do they keep multiplying?" Like,
he like doesn't realize. I mean, he grew up on a mountain.
Like, okay, you know what? It's fine, because if they're out there in the terrible, harsh, evil world, terrible things will happen to them. At least if they're here with me, they're safe. Okay, yeah.
It's like Lan Zhan with his bunnies that he gets given bunnies from Wei Wuxian, and all of a sudden Wei Wuxian comes back and Lan Zhan has 1,000,000 bunnies, and he's like, "This isn't how this worked, but okay." And so
he's like, "I want to eat the rats."
Like, they multiplied. All right. And that's our fan fiction. Leanne goes, "I'm loving these evil but loving uncle story ideas." In the animated show, there's a scene where Wei Wuxian breaks an array that covers a whole mountain the people thought couldn't be broken. He's just so casually powerful. Imagine someone more than that of him. Yeah. I think that was a rewrite of the Dauphin Mountain, the dancing statue. But yeah, those are my Volume 2 thoughts and my fanfic ideas. Actually, I have a lot more fanfic ideas, but I think this fandom needs to deal more with secret identity, and it doesn't. Wei Wuxian coming back in a different body. I love secret identities, and this is perfect pining secret identity material, and there isn't like any where like there's something beautiful about Lanzhan recognizing Wei Wuxian immediately because of things. But also, I want him not to know. Give me my, or at least like have Wei Wuxian have to pretend not to be himself. Like they're alone most of the time with people that don't know Mo Jianyu. Like he's just acting normal. I'm like, no, I want him to at least have to pretend to be an.
He did for like half of one volume.
Yeah, half of one volume.
And then he gave up. He gave up so quick. He was like,
so fast.
He's like, I'm done. I'm just gonna be me.
All right,
my brother already knows. Lanzhan already knows.
There's a hummingbird that's been hanging outside my window today, and Storm is hunting it right now, I think, from over here. Don't worry, the window's closed. But it's been hanging out on the power lines like a full hummingbird.
It's
been stressing the girl out. So, do you have any more Wei Wuxian thoughts? Well, that too, but Grandmaster thoughts.
No, I don't think so.
Cool. Next month we will be doing the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
The fictional memoir styled standalone.
Leanne, I'm pretty sure that is a fan fiction, but I'm not gonna click on it either because we're going to do Heaven's Official Blessing at some point, probably. Or at least the first book, maybe not all 9. Okay.
We'll have her picks for a year.
Cool. Do we have that scheduled?
What?
7 Husbands?
Yes. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is our next book. And like I said, it's a standalone memoir style. It's a fictional memoir style standalone. Evelyn Hugo is a retired Hollywood actress, and she has called after refusing to do a memoir for I think decades, she has called in this one writer, and she's like, I will do a memoir if this woman writes it specifically, and only if this woman writes it specifically. And the woman's like, for why me? And then Evelyn's like, I'll tell you eventually. And she tells you.
I've never read it before, but I'm excited to.
It is a cool timeline as we get the present of the interview and the memoir of Evelyn's as she goes through her 7 husbands.
Cool. I'm cutting you off so you don't say more, and I
stopped.
That is the end of our stream. Hi RP, and we're ending now.
As always, there is a document linked in the description that has all of the books we've read and discussed. And if you want a sneak peek of the rest of our books for the year, I've also filled out the chart there down below. Yeah. So,
bye.